I'm a new soul, I came to this strange world, hoping I could learn a bit about how to kill and take. I'm a new soul, I came to this strange world, hoping I could.
Lads, welcome to my review of Black Ops 4 Zombies. Now, this is mostly going to be a review of the mechanics rather than the maps themselves. I've already made multiple videos about what I think about each maps, about the pros and the cons. This is what I want to see more of in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies. What I mostly said was positive was in all my other videos. Today, I'm going to be focusing on the negatives and how I think Black Ops 4 Zombies can improve from here on out. This, again, like I said, is not going to be a review of the maps. I did that with my ranking every map video, so you can check that out there. This is going to be about the negatives of the game mode. So let's get through some stuff. I'm not afraid to say that I dislike. The first thing I want to talk about is that, in my opinion, I believe elixirs are too underpowered. And what I mean by this is it's sort of a double-edged sword, because the positives of elixirs being too underpowered means that the game is balanced and there's nothing too crazy that makes beginners go to such high rounds just because of a cheat in the game, like they had in Black Ops 3 with Power Vacuum or near-death experience where you literally could not die in the game. So I understand that, but the problem is when you make them too underpowered, that kind of removes the incentive of buying elixirs, at least in the laboratory, which is once known as Dr. Monty's Gobblegum Factory. But with the factory, the system itself is a lot better to get elixirs, but in my opinion there's no real incentive to buy them, because now with the mutations option you can just essentially turn on all the pack punch, turn on all the doors. You don't even need to look up any tutorials to play this game mode, and you can have the best things. You can start round 50, you can get only wonder weapons in your game, and I think that's why elixirs are too underpowered. And because of the fact that mutations exists, I feel like during this game's life cycle, the people over at Treyarch are going to have to add in those really overpowered elixirs to balance it out, because hey, what's the point of buying an elixir if you're not going to get a perkaholic? If you're not going for the Easter egg, what's the point, you know? Because all of the elixirs that you can see in the ones that you at least have to buy, not the classics, are mainly used for Easter egg hunts, like Join the Party, where you bring back all your dead teammates. I just don't understand why they took out such a classic like perkaholic. I understand it was overpowered, but I feel like there is a lack of incentive that's going to be brought about with that zombie side of the community. Now, going on to the next step, this is about how some specialist weapons need major balancing, because when you compare the Ether storyline and the Chaos storyline, I think the Ether storyline has some major advantage, at least with some of the specialist weapons, and I think the most overpowered specialist weapon in the game, hands down, has got to be the katana. And I'm surprised that I'm saying this, but once you get to this bad boy, the level fucking 3, not only are you invincible as you have it out, you have a left click ability that when you use it, you slide across the map. You literally glide through the whole zombie horde. You can take out zombie bosses with it, and there's literally, whenever you're playing an Ether storyline map, no other incentive to get anything else. Like, the overkill is really nice when you're playing co-op, because the level 3 ability, you take the death machine, you throw it, and it becomes a nuke, and that nuke is a shared nuke for points, which is amazing. But the problem is, if you have 4 players, there's absolutely no reason to use anything else, because the DG5s, although you can stack them down and then people can be revived inside and keep their perks, it doesn't really matter. If you have people with overkill just generating points super quickly after just killing one Brutus and getting a ton of points, that's all you need. You don't need to keep your perks, just rebuy them. There's only 4 now, you know what I mean? And Hellfire is easily the least overpowered of them all, and I think it needs some major balancing. I think the level 1 is a bit too underpowered past round 10. It doesn't really do much. Level 2 doesn't get any new abilities at all, which really sucks. And then the level 3 makes a Fire Tornado that's just a worse version of the Storm Bow from Black Ops 3. So I have no idea why you would ever use the Hellfire when Overkill would always kill all the zombies and just blow up up and give everybody points. I don't understand that at all, and I think the katana itself, if you're ever playing solo, is almost always the go-to when you're playing the Ether storyline. Now talking about the Chaos storyline, the specialist weapons are a bit more balanced here, but they're still quite overpowered. In my opinion, the most overpowered specialist weapon in the Chaos storyline is the hammer. The level 2 ability is very strong, and then the level 3 ability, in my opinion, is almost broken. You just essentially get a Wonder Walk that you can infinitely use and destroy boss zombies, destroy any type of zombies. It's just a devastation. And then for when you're playing co-op, the chakrams are very nice because you can actually run faster, so maybe you can pick up your teammates, and you have the whirlwind, which basically makes the area around you invincible. You're practically invincible. Nobody can touch you. And then the scepter and the viper are really quite useless. The viper, you would think, would be a really good specialist weapon against the bosses. It's really not. Like, it's okay on zombies, but the new ability that you get for level 3 doesn't do anything. It just stuns the zombies. I don't know if it's broken. I'm not totally sure what's the problem with it. And then you have the scepter, which in my opinion has got to be one of the worst ones, just because the only reason why I put it just above the viper is because when you plant it down, people can come back up. It makes a nice slow zone, and that's really cool when you're playing co-op, but you would never use that solo. You would never use anything else but the hammer and the katana solo, so that needs some major balancing. Make the viper better, make the hellfire better, make the scepter a little bit more powerful, and I think we'll have it easier. And this goes on to another balancing issue of mine. I think that some perks in this game are far too underpowered. I think the most crutch perk in this game comes down to time slip, which immediately reduces all the cooldowns on everything, and this game is basically run off of cooldowns. Your specialist weapon is on a cooldown, your equipment is on a cooldown, some of the perks are on cooldowns, and time slip, in my opinion, especially if you have it as the modifier perk, really helps out your game, and it's almost a must buy whenever I play Black Ops 4 Zombies. And then when you keep going down the list, Quick Revive is also really good for solo because it makes it so that not only are you able to revive players faster, but you also regenerate health faster, which especially in the classic mode is an absolute must, because if you don't have that, you only have 3 hits. What's the point? You're just gonna sit at 50 health for 5 seconds? Hell no. Get Quick Revive. Stamina up is also important because you run so slow, which is why I love the chakrams. Also, when you play solo, you have Dying Wish, which is also very nice because it prevents the constant deaths, but it also uses the perk slot. Winter's Wail is nice, but I think the cooldown needs to be reduced. I think only having 2 hits, unless it's your modifier where you have 3, is not really fun, and you can only have that per 1 round. Electric Burst is better than it was in Electric Cherry for Black Ops 3. Stronghold could be better. Deadshot could be better. Bandolier is good, but why bother when there's only 4 perk slots? You have Secret Sauce, which is kind of okay. It makes everything really cheap, but at a randomization. You have Mule Kick, which I find completely useless because most of the guns are underpowered. Victorious Tortoise, in my opinion, is not really useful because for the effects to actually work, you have to hold out the shield. Death Perception is not really useful at all because you can just see the zombies around the corner. I don't know why you would bother. And PhD Slider, in my opinion, is also not really useful because many of the explosive weapons that we knew and loved are completely gone in the game. I think if you were to upgrade some of these perks, I think it would be best preferred to upgrade everything that I said underneath Winter's Wail, because other than Time Slip, Quick Revive, Stamina Up, and Dying Wish, I personally don't understand why you would run anything other than those 4 perks, and you unlock almost all 4 of these perks right off the start. I think Dying Wish is the only one that you don't get, or maybe you do get Dying Wish, I'm not totally sure, but they're just too overpowered, and all the rest of the perks to me don't really have a lot of relevance. And also another problem is the OG perks are gone. I'm not going to focus too much on this because 3 out of the 4 of them are gone. Quick Revive's still in the game, and it's actually integrated into the game, but Juggernog, Speed Cola, and Double Tap are gone. I'm not going to say too much about this because maybe once the Easter egg goes off, we'll be able to find these original perks, but the problem is that these perks are such crutches in Zombies. I can't believe they just all of a sudden took them away. Hopefully they're actually in the Easter egg. If not, then that's a major problem for beginners. And then there's also a lot of influence from Infinite Infinite Warfare and World War II Zombies, I think one of the major heavy influences is that the handbook was copied, but I think in a good way, which is actually a step up for Black Ops 4 Zombies. Some things to me still seem kind of out of place, like sentry turrets randomly being from Exo Zombies implemented into Black Ops 4. Armor to me doesn't really have a significance in this game because you lose it as soon as you don't have Stronghold or as soon as you put away your specialist weapon. Talismans are pretty cool, but to me I don't really find the relevance to them. And then also, like with World War II Zombies, they had these interesting little in-game zombie events where you go up to a zombie and you would see it actively becoming a zombie or eating a human. That's not in this game either, and I think it's just these little things that I think Black Ops 4 could definitely step up in for the DLC. Also, the HUD was leaked a couple days ago, and most people don't really like it, and I can understand that. There's just a lot of stuff compared to Black Ops 3 that was on the screen. There's a lot of unnecessary things. Maybe make some type of option where you can remove certain elements, and also you have the mule kick indicator, which is kind of cool, but again, I don't know, I kind of like the IW version better. And I think one of the major problems also is the elixir usage menu. I think this goes back to World War II Zombies, where in World War II Zombies you could have 2 consumables, but the problem in that game was it was very hard to see the consumables, and most of the time when I would use them I would accidentally press them. And I've talked with Milo about this, and it feels like this game has the exact same thing. Instead, with this game you can actually see the elixirs very clearly, but the problem with the elixirs is that you use them accidentally. You use them more than you would back in Black Ops 3 because there's no gobblegum machine, there's no elixir machine now. You just always have them, which means you're going to use them more, which means you're going to pay for more microtransactions. And in my opinion, what's the point if they're too underpowered? So I think that's an issue. And also, going on with the elixir usage menu, I think it takes away from something that is huge in Zombies, which is an emote menu. Every single game mode in Black Ops 4, excluding Zombies, now has an emote menu. Zombie needs an emote menu. I think you guys think I'm stupid for that, but it's such an important thing for thumbnails, for fun interaction with the community, for different styles and aesthetics that you can play with public matches. I think it's very vital for the community. And also, apparently cosmetics are coming into the game, which I have not heard about personally. And lastly, I feel bots need a major rebalancing in this game. You guys see my first playthrough with the bots, it was absolutely horrendous. None of them would pick me up, none of them would buy any of the doors. Maybe this is fixed on launch, but I think that is all I have to go through. I think if Black Ops 4 were to fix this certain list of things, it would become a great game. I know a lot of people just focus on the Ether storyline, and when they have a lot of the Chaos storyline elements in their Ether storyline, they're probably questioning about what happened or what was going on with that. So I think it's just kind of interesting that we're taking this approach, and I hope that Treyarch is able to make it a balanced experience for everyone without always having to go into the settings and make your game easy or adjust the health. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out my Twitch for more highlights, and I'm going to be streaming primarily on there for everything Zombies related, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next one.
I can tell by the look in your eyes.